Are you ready for some behind the scenes investigate work that all of my impact presentation participants utilize in order to get clear on what they want to create for their culture, but also how they can be the captain of that culture and truly start to shift the culture in a way that allows for more growth and more success out of their people. When I wanted to create a podcast, I thought I had to keep this information that was in my speaking presentations secret. And friends, that's just not going to serve you in the way that I want this podcast to serve you. And so today we're going to dive into an exercise that all of my participants utilize in order to get clear and set themselves up for success. And it's going to be good. I need you to grab a piece of paper and something to write with, or if you are driving, be prepared to pause and go take some voice notes. And if you are someone who loves organized notes, then you are going to want to go grab the Investigate Your Culture worksheet that I have for you on my website. I'll give you that link in just a second. Otherwise, all right, let's buckle up and let's get clear so we can get confident, so we can create that thriving culture that we know our people need. If you are listening to this in real time, you are aware that 2024 is right around the corner. And what better time to do this exercise where we are going to investigate your culture. We are going to look at what you want for your people and what you want to build so that they can be successful in each of their roles. Now, I do want to take a quick time out. If you are someone who listens to this podcast before 8 a.m. on Tuesday morning, Central Standard Time, can I just tell you that you make me so happy? I wake up every morning, I get going, I drop my kids off at school, and then I'm always like, oh, hey, let's double check that the podcast launched at the right time, and the show notes are all there, everything's all there. And I always smile at those of you who have already listened. Now, let me remind you, I have no idea who you are. All I know is that there have been 11 plays before 8 a.m. So can you do me a favor? If you are one of those early morning listeners on Tuesday morning, can you send me a message, please? I want to thank you personally for just getting started with your day and diving into the What If It Works podcast. It seriously blesses me so much. And I just want to say thank you. So little shout out to all of you early morning listeners on Tuesday morning. Now, if you are listening to this any other time, I love you too. I need you to know that. Knowing that there are leaders out there listening to learn and grow seriously pulls at my heartstrings. And I am proud of you, and I am so glad that you are here. And today is going to be a big day. This is going to be an incredible episode because today we're going to get extremely clear. And when I say extremely clear, I mean, you are going to be writing down actions that you are going to see from yourself and your people that are going to prove that this culture attribute is happening around you. And so let's just jump right in. If you want to utilize the Investigate Your Culture workbook page, you are going to go to anvote.com/investigate-your-culture. It is in the description of this podcast or the show notes. Go ahead and click on that. You're going to add your name and email, and it is going to send you directly to the PDF. Let's get started. If you do not want to download that, you just got a blank sheet of paper in front of you, dynamite. On the top, right? Investigate your culture, and then I want you to make 2 columns, all right? Here is the deal. Just like when we investigated you, we are now going to investigate your culture. And I'm going to ask you to create a list on the left-hand column of attributes that you know your culture already has that you want to see continue. What are the things going well right now? I want you just thinking in the positive. Are people smiling at the door? Are people supportive of other team members when they need help? Are people asking good questions and getting really clear so that they can take action and move forward? Are people positive? Are people bringing challenges to you in a way that will help and not hurt? I want you to think about those attributes. And actually, if you want to pause the episode here and think of a few, maybe 3 to 5 attributes that you already have that you're like, hey, we're on our way here, or we're already here. Go ahead and pause now, and then we'll continue in a second. All right. Now I want you to think about attributes that you know would actually help your culture improve. It would help other people grow. It would help other people feel confident or feel successful or feel able for them to step into their own and reach their own goals. That's going to be those bottom 7-8 spaces. Now, I want to tell you a story quickly about a company that I worked with this summer and this specific activity with them. I got called in to work with a group of 11 individuals at a fairly small business. They had about 25 staff members, and I was reaching only the top 11. In this workshop that we did, we talked about the culture that they wanted to see. And they put down words like loyalty, honesty, positivity, helpful, team player. And the reason they called me in is they were having some toxic culture going on within the, we'll call them technicians, group. And so the people that were facing the customer and delivering a product or a service to a group of people prior to the owners kind of coming into the picture. All right. And these technicians were not getting along. They were talking behind each other's backs. They were not helping each other out. They were definitely not team players. And so these were things they wanted. And as you listen to this episode, it sounds so easy what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to write down some attributes that you want to see. But you're forgetting the beginning of the worksheet title, which is investigate. And so I bring that up because as I was working with this company this summer, we were writing these ideas down. And I knew that they hired me because of the toxicity. And I said, okay, tell me about the people who are the most toxic. How are they not being loyal? How are they not being honest? How are they, what are they doing? How are they showing up that is going against these attributes? And we really investigated. I mean, we went deep into a few of these individuals. And one of the individuals in particular that they were discussing, in the investigation stage, they realized, wait a second. This is an employee who's been here from the beginning. She is the definition of loyal. She will tell it like it is. She is the definition of honesty. She has worked throughout her time here with many different owners. Without question, she has been a team player. And the only piece that was missing was the positivity. And so we took a time out and we investigated this individual. And we said, what is stopping them from being positive at work? And I'm not going to go into everything that was shared, but I will tell you that the perspectives changed in the room when we started to investigate the individual. When we started to look at this person is meeting all of our culture criteria except maybe one. However, we're not celebrating them meeting that culture criteria because we're so focused on the one thing they are not doing. And it was beautiful. I remember having tears well up in my eyes when I heard one of the newer employees say, actually, if I ever need help, I always go to this individual because I know she knows the answer. And another person said, yeah, I actually really like working with her. Other than the negative attitude, she is efficient. She is great with our customers. She is clear with them. She wants the best for them. And so it was really interesting when they took a time out and investigated what they said they actually wanted and what they were actually getting in return. And so in a minute, I'm going to have you write down actions, but I really want you to think about the attributes that you just started to write down. Are these attributes truly going to help other people grow and reach their full potential? Or are these attributes just what make other people comfortable? And now I don't want you second guessing. Positivity is something I believe belongs in every culture. But we need to remember that just because we're in a good place in our lives, personally and professionally, doesn't always mean that everyone around us is as well. Now, I am not saying it is okay for them to spread toxic negativity around the office. But what I am saying is get clear on what you want and what you need in order for your team, your people, your business to be successful, and then find the actions that maybe need to shift so that those attributes can come to life. All right? So if you wrote down some keywords, what are those words called that everybody kind of uses, right? That we want accountability and we want positivity and we want good communication. That's all great. I'm not knocking you for writing that down. Be prepared because we're about to get really specific over in the action column so that you can truly start to see a shift. So go ahead and pause here. Really think about that list of attributes on the left-hand side so that you can truly start to create the environment that you believe your people will feel best in. I worry that I'm being too vague in this. One thing I don't want to do is tell you what to write down in that left-hand column. But I also don't want you writing down cliche words in that left-hand column without thinking truly about their impact. And so let's just take a quick time out here. When you think about your culture, I actually want you to think about the end product. What do you truly want? Is it you want customer satisfaction? Is it you want crazy productivity and efficiency? Is it that you want creativity? Is it that you want people literally going above and beyond to better themselves? And it's not just about your company, right? What is it that you truly want as the end result? A lot of times in my speaking gigs and the companies that I work with, at first they believe they just want productivity. They just want people to go to work, be productive, and walk away. And that's great for some businesses, right? That's great. I work with a manufacturing company. And for the most part, if they just want their employees to walk in and do the job and walk out, it's going to be pretty good. The problem is when problems arise, if you don't have outside the box thinkers, if you don't have people who feel confident in creating a solution, you're going to be doing a lot of micromanaging. And so think about that end result. What do you want from your team that's going to set your business and your people up for success? Is it that you want openness, willing to share the frustrations of the job? Is it that you want those problem solvers? Is it that you want people willing to take action? So what are those attributes that you want in your culture that are going to support those types of things happening in the workplace? All right. Now you can pause here. Now I've given you everything I believe I need to say about the attributes on the left-hand side of the page. And now we're going to move over into actions. Now, if you listen to episode 21, you know that in the Investigate You, we talked about what attributes you want to bring to the table and then what actions other people will see you do that will prove to them that you are that attribute. Well, now we're going to do something very similar. I want you to look at that attribute list, and over on the action side, or the column, the right-hand column, I want you to think about what actions are going to be seen in the workplace that prove that attribute is present. And now I want you thinking about yourself as the leader or yourself as the teammate and others. What are others doing? What are you doing? What are your teammates doing, right? And so think about the actions. I'm going to use one that I think really, really, really will move and shift a culture into a really positive way. And that's accountability. Now, sometimes people in management hear accountability and they're like, yep, my people are accountable to me. I want my people doing their job and being held accountable for their actions. I want you to think of accountability in a different way. What does accountability look like? What kind of things are you seeing in order for accountability to be present? What kind of things are you hearing so that you know accountability is present? Is it something like emails are being sent by people acknowledging that something might not get done at a timeline they assumed was going to happen? Is accountability shown by you taking the lead in a meeting and making sure that everyone on your team knows exactly what they need to do? You are accountable for your team just as much as they are accountable to you. And so really think about these actions as, what are you going to see? What are you going to hear? What are you going to experience that shows you that these attributes are present? Positivity, another great one. If you have positivity as one of your attributes, what are the actions you are going to see in the office? Is it the simple good mornings and hello and have a good weekend comments? Sure. But is it also when a problem arises that someone says, hey, we have a problem, let's get working on it, let's solve it, instead of, hey, we have a problem again, here we go again, and didn't do our job again, and now we're going to sit and dwell on the problem for an extremely long amount of time? Or is it someone says, hey, here's a problem, let's take a look at this, let's positively think of ways we can fix this, right? Is that maybe something you're going to see differently in your future culture? Go ahead. This is going to take you a little while, and I want it to. I want you to not just come up with one, but as many actions as you can think of under each attribute. If you only think of one, it won't happen. I'll tell you right now, you need to think of all the things that you are going to see, hear, or experience if accountability is present, if positivity is present, if clear communication is present, if honesty and integrity are present, right? You need to think of more than just one thing. And so in a second, I'm going to have you pause this episode here and really just dump every idea out of your brain of what you want to see, what you want to hear in your office that really shows you that these attributes are happening. Go ahead and pause here. Now, maybe you're someone who just listened to that episode and chose not to write anything down. Let me remind you that by writing down your ideas and looking for and literally visualizing the actions that you are going to see, it is going to turn on your reticular activating system. Reminder, if you have not heard me say this before, your RAS, your reticular activating system, is a part of your brain that seeks information. The reason I have you write this down, the reason I have you write more than one action down is so that your brain can be tuned in to look for this information and find it, and your brain will. If you wrote down honesty and today at work someone admits to doing something wrong, your brain is going to be like ding, 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 lighting up. And you're going to be like, wow, so-and-so is really honest right now, right? If you are looking for accountability and a project needs to get done before the end of the week, and someone walks up to you and says, hey, we had a couple setbacks, we're not going to be able to hit this deadline, and I just want to make sure you're aware of it. That is that person being accountable. And you are going to light up, and you are going to then, I hope, say the words, hey, thanks for being accountable on this. I appreciate you bringing this to me. What can we do? Is there any way we can get this done by Friday? Because that is when we said it would be done. What do you need from me? What can we do? How can we think outside the box on this, right? Your brain is going to look for this. And it's going to get excited when it starts to see it. And you want to know what else that's going to prove to you? It is going to prove to you that your actions make a difference. If all you did was listen to this episode and maybe started thinking about attributes, your brain is not going to light up. Good things are going to happen around you, and you're not going to recognize it in the way that you could, where you recognize these attributes are growing within your culture. So it really is up to you to be the captain, to know what you want, to know what you're going to find, to know what you're going to see. The other thing this is going to allow you to do is notice when it's not happening, right? You're going to go looking for positivity and you are not going to find it for a week. And your RAS, your brain, is still going to be lighting up every time it now sees the opposite. When it sees the negativity, it's going to light up. When it sees the toxicity, it's going to light up. Now I need you to be calm and intentional with your actions when you're not seeing what you want to see, and go back to this list and look at what you were going to do, what actions you were going to take to build positivity in the office. It truly, truly starts with you. And I know there are some of you who feel victim to the awful culture that is around you. And I am sorry that that culture is there. I am sorry that it has been allowed. I am sorry that it has grown into what it is. What I'm not sorry for is you feeling like you are a victim to that. Because guess what? That is a choice. You can walk in to an extremely negative environment, and with your mindset wrapped around that you are the culture, or excuse me, you are the captain of your culture, you can walk into that negative environment and you can choose how you react. You can choose who you talk to. You can choose your mindset. And I really, truly want you to do that. It's hard. It is exhausting in the beginning. Here's what's incredible. People will watch you handle yourself in a different way, and they will want that for themselves. And they will start to shift their thinking toward yours at the same time. Look for the good, focus on the good, get through that negative situation. I know they're going to happen. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying you're going to be all of a sudden shielding yourself from all of that. No, you're just going to have a different mindset when it comes at you. And you're going to be able to handle it in such a way because you've taken the time to really get clear on what you want and what you're going to do about it. And I know in my soul that you can see your culture transform. The I in impact stands for investigate. That's what we're doing right now. The T in impact stands for transform. And when you consistently focus on these actions you have in front of you and setting out for these attributes to be created and nurtured within your team, your workplace, your home, I know you're going to transform your culture. It's not going to happen overnight, but I know it's going to happen. If you have been listening to this episode and you have been thinking to yourself, and it doesn't matter what I do, the culture at my workplace will never change, I want to remind you that you are correct. You are correct. If you, in your mind, are all in that nothing will change your workplace culture, I'm here to tell you nothing will change your workplace culture. That's correct. You need to switch that mindset into my actions make a difference, because they do. And when you shift that mindset and you go all in doing the actions that you wrote down here, you will see those attributes. And friends, what if it works? What if you decide you are going to go all in and be consistent in these actions? You want to know what you can see? First off, you're going to start seeing a change in January. You are really going to recognize that change in February. And then that's when you get just kicked up, because then once you start seeing it, you start believing, and you will know in your soul, just like me, that you can make a difference, and you will start to personally make that shift happen for those around you. What if it works? What if you are able to take your workplace culture and truly help others around you grow, learn, and be successful in whatever way that means for them? What if you help them see their true potential? Because you create a culture where they are confident and they know how to succeed. Whew. Now that is the culture I want to be in, where my leader believes in my growth and my success. You can be that person for someone else, whether you have the title of leader or not. Help others see their worth and see their potential. During the holiday season and the winter season, we see a spike in suicide. We see a huge spike in depression and anxiety. And I want you to think about how your little actions, look at that list. What are some of the little things you can do to help the people around you who are struggling with depression or anxiety? And if you got nothing else out of this episode, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how your actions truly make a difference. They impact people positively or negatively. And they can influence people in their own beliefs, their own belief about themselves, because you believe in them first. And I truly feel that all belief stems from someone planting a seed first. If you think back to your early days in school, you would know what you were good at when you were younger because someone planted a seed that you were good at math, or you're a good reader, or you're a creative thinker. Someone planted that seed, and then you looked for evidence to back that up. You get to go be that for other people. You get to go tell people around you what they're good at, how they support the group, how they are valuable in the team. And in a time, in a season where we know people need that more, you get to go be the captain of that culture. And I'll remind you, what if it works? What if you are able to shift that mindset and see a totally new person emerge because you planted that belief? Whew. It's powerful and it's real. This would be a great episode to play with your team. Do this on your own first. I would highly recommend, if you are the leader of a team, I would highly recommend you do this activity, this exercise first. Have them listen to the attribute section and the action section and see what kind of similarities all of you have of what kind of culture they believe would create success and confidence and value in the workplace. Utilize that list and start looking for it around the office. There is something powerful about everybody moving forward together and creating momentum by looking for the good, taking intentional actions, and being aligned in your mission. It is going to be an incredible opportunity for you and them to grow together by doing this Investigate Your Culture worksheet exercise, if you will. If you are not registered for the December giveaway, the giveaway drawing is next Tuesday. So if you are listening to this in real time, you've got 1 week to get entered. Remember, you are going to go to annvote.com/December-giveaway. You're going to enter your information, hit submit. You are in the running for a $25 gift card at Amazon. The You Are Awesome pop-up cards to share with your team, anybody around you, and the book, The Psychology of Winning, a dynamite mindset shift, really inspirational and empowering, and will help you take intentional action. Go ahead and get entered into that giveaway. 2023. Wrapping up. We got our sights set on 2024. Our next episode on December 26th, we are wrapping up this Investigate series. Now go out there and create change.